Oh, not yet, not yet. Okay.
Recording in progress.
So for class today, this is my house. Welcome. Do you guys like it? It's so beautiful, right? I think it's worth 10 million personally. But I'm going to be assigning you a property. Once I assign that property to you, you're going to do a market analysis. I'm going to have you go into DocuSign, pull all the paperwork you need, get it together, fill it out. And then the last 30 minutes of class, you guys will present what the listing is. You'll do your little listing presentation. You can do it from your seat. You can come up here if you want, whatever you want to do. But this is just some real life action. It's going to be way faster than you would normally do it. You would obviously ideally want more than 2 hours to prep for a listing appointment. But I don't know, what if you meet some guy at a train station, it's got $1 million in a backpack? He's like, let's go, show me what you got. I don't know, just making stuff up. But some things that I want you to keep in mind are what the seller's costs are associated with selling your home. This is going to be a question that will come up, and I just don't think that I covered it well enough in the last 2 days. So this is the seller costs associated with selling your home. They have commission, which varies, variable, and a percentage. Let's say it's 4% of that price. Whatever your CMA comes back at, maybe calculate that out, what that 4% looks like. Or if you're charging more or less, whatever you're going to charge, figure out what that number is. You can talk to them about it. There's also legal fees associated. It's usually 500 bucks-ish. Can be. I like to overestimate because I'd rather than be like, oh, wasn't that much money? Then, oh, what's that? So there's legal fees associated with that. And really there's some transfer tax depending on where they are. There is state taxes depending on the situation. So I like to give them like a rough estimate, but I usually tell them that this depends on what their situation is, where they live, it's variable. So this is not going to be a number that's like astronomical, but this one is, and it's what they're paying you. So you want to be prepared to talk about that and, give some context behind why it costs that much. Usually they're not going to ask you. I've very rarely had situations like, well, why do you charge that much? Sometimes they'll ask, like, if I throw out a number, they might say, oh, well, what about this? And they'll negotiate. They have every right to. Most people don't, though, because you're really setting the tone. A lot of people have never sold a home before, so it's their first, second time, and usually it's not rapid fire. They're usually doing it years apart, which means that this number could change. So be confident in whatever number you're charging, but be prepared to discuss it because it is going to eat into their proceeds. And sometimes they need those proceeds to purchase another property. So if they owe a ton on their house and you're not going to be able to sell it for much, like that is situations that we will run into as the market changes, where people owe more than what their house is worth. And in that situation, you have to be able to discuss it with them. Another little note is you want to ask them how much they owe on their home. So that can be an awkward question. I get pushback sometimes, but to give you an example, I had a discussion with a client, asked her how much she owed on her home. She said she had no idea. I pulled an RPR, said about 160, 170, or 260, 270, and we had the house under contract for 375. And turns out she owed 320 on it. So that's a huge difference. Ultimately, it's on them to go to the bank, find out how much money they owe on the property. You only have access to so much information, so you don't know how much they've paid since then. If they haven't paid this specific instance, she hadn't paid her mortgage in a while, so those fees and everything kind of add up. So I'm going to assign a property. If you want to do your home that you started working on, you can certainly do that. If you want to just a random property, just let me know. You have your New Hampshire license, right? Yeah. Would you prefer New Hampshire property or permit? Okay, so I'm going to give you. Oh, hang on, I just want to get the unit number on this one. Unit B4. You have 15 Wildwood in Drayton, Mass. Unit B4.
David,
Yep,
unit 4.
unit B4. And this is a garden style condo. It's a garden style condo, and it's unfortunately in estate sale. Keep that in mind. You can have 40 Main Street, number 507 in Stoneham, Mass. Yep. And MAIN, yep. In Stoneham. Some notes about this property are, when you walk in, you notice that the slider doors are jam up when you open them. There's some water damage around the door. There's massive sliders in this unit. You might see it, if you look it up, but you're not out. There's some water damage surrounding the slider doors, it's affecting them. And they have animals that are very messy. So just keep that. And I'll give you 31 Hoffman Ave in Lawrence. A note about this is that it's pretty big colonial, but super big. Interior is very big. This is also unfortunately an estate sale. Do you want to do your property?
You can assign more, that way.
It's fair.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's more of a challenge.
Yeah. I just pick a good one for you. Are you a New Hampshire agent?
No.
You're Mass. I'm gonna give you, oh, here we go. 17 Lennox Street in Lawrence, Mass. This is a bungalow. Here's the garden style apartment. Single family colonial. Yours is a bungalow in Lawrence, 17 Lennox Street. You're gonna notice when you show up that the roof has cupping and curling, so it looks like the roof's not looking hot. And when you take a look at the property and you're walking around the basement, you happen to notice that there was some leftover knobber tube wiring. Looks like it might be disabled, but I'm sure. So to start, you can find any information about the property however you want, whether it's your tax card, whatever you're used to practicing. If you've never done it, let me know. I will come help you.
So I think just face the name.
Yeah, you can make up whatever name you want. That could be the fun part.
As you want, right?
Yeah, whatever you want. Ronald McDonald.
Oh,
Ronald McDonald.
Steven Tyler. Ooh, Steven Tyler.
If you have any questions, feel free, obviously, to just call me over and I will help you. But I'm expecting, just like any seller, I'm expecting to know what my property's worth, what your services cost, what the contracts are. And I expect you to be compliant with those disclosures. If my house, depending on the year it was built, do you need a lead paint disclosure? These are all things you have to sort out. Do you all have access to DocuSign when you're good logging in and kind of navigating that a little bit? That's where you find the forms. Just like last night. You can do this.
I started with the CMA, but.
The CMA, no, but with the contracts, you need to be able to navigate DocuSign. Hey, girl. Do you have a computer with you? If not, I have an extra one. Don't worry about it. No, don't worry about it. I have an extra one. Just a little tip, start at the tax card. It's gonna give you all the information that you need. I have a computer for you. No problem. You might just want to sit over here just because I can plug it in. Just do what you can. I know that you have to go for your kid's speech. So I have speech therapy on Tuesday, so I totally understand.
Yeah, he goes every Friday. It's
Oh.
usually at 3:30, but
I don't know.
can't do 2 o'clock.
So you just use this however you want. So basically, I'm gonna assign you a property. I'm gonna look for one right now. I'll help you put it there. New. I'll help you.
Why is this signed out? It's tough being on Zoom, you know. I know, no, I'm glad that you came. Look for a property for you. Yeah, good one. This is 6143. Yeah, I'm gonna show you one second. I was meant that first because of a text message in my ear. I'm really sorry. I'm clicking it, but ill. So I'm gonna give you some paper too. And my hand. I'm so
Oh,
sorry.
no,
Like,
it's
I
my
just
fault.
rushed here.
No, I didn't tell you guys. That's why
I can't find the, where to find the property tax.
Oh,
On
no.
the site.
So if you go wherever city you're in, so I'm gonna tell her to go to Lawrence, type in, Google it, Lawrence tax assessor. Lawrence Mass tax assessor. There you go. Click on that. You Scroll, so this is the one that Lawrence uses. It's usually Vision Government Solutions or Patriot Properties. I learned something the other day. I never knew been lost.
That's it.
I also, yeah. Chanda, wow, nice people. So this is basically what we're gonna have you do. If you want to log into your email, you don't have to really log into your email. Log into the MLS. You can.
I just like, so what is it, MLS 10?
Login.mlspin.com.
My computer just doesn't want me.
Oh, I know, mine does too.
Yep.
There you go. Do you know what your login is?
Oh, no, because it has a weird number.
Oh, it's really fun.
It has like, you know what I mean, it's like C and something. Again, my computer just logged me in.
Don't worry about it. See?
That's why I'm like, because my computer does it so many times. I don't remember.
So what I'm gonna have you do is this property, the first step is to pull up the tax card, or Brian can kind of be a handy dandy helper, but he's working on his stuff, so I'm gonna show her the tax card. Yours is,
It's not tools. Go to tools and go to properties.
okay.
On the MLS.
I pull the tax card and bring it with me, but.
No, no, history.
Or you do that, see, this is time of month, can you tell?
Yeah.
You said Lennox that to me, right? Lennox Street. L-E-N.
So I need this.
There you go. How you doing now?
Good.
Good.
Why does that happen? It's not showing.
Oh, no, don't worry about it.
Oh,
Oh,
you're
North
actually.
Andover. That's fine.
Or-
And just so you all know, when I did my first CMA, I was this rickety also. Wait, what? What do I touch?
Nothing?
Cool, so now when you click on that, right there. Just pull the information, so you want to pull like, also some insight about your property.
Mhm.
Ton of water damage in the basement and the garage, ton,
Okay.
very dated. So. Lots of water damage in garage and basement. So you're gonna want to pull bedrooms, bathrooms, square footage from this, write it down.
Just write that.
Yep.
Like total area and then living area, does that mean like basement is included in the total area?
And you only want the livable space, so that's all an appraiser is gonna use. Also, keep in mind, if I gave you a property that was like, see, I just lost my. Oh, if I gave you a property that's like a split or a cape on a basement level, just know that don't use comps that are like colonials and have like above the grade living. Because anything like a split level is valued at less than a colonial, because half the living space is usually underground, it's usually basement level. So that is not valued as high as if it was all above the grade. So you got the info. So hold on to this now, open, open another one again, or just like, do you have everything you need from there? Or can you want? Is it on?
So what am I doing? Just getting all this about my house?
This is all
Should
the
I take out
information.
whatever I want?
Yeah, so basically, I know you walked in, I should explain what you're
sorry,
doing.
I know.
Don't be sorry. This is, I'm making you guys put together a listing presentation. So like if I were to be like, oh my God, Amanda, I'm doing my house in Nathaniel, where I really want you to come over and tell me how much my house is worth
Okay.
and what you can do for a service for me. That's what we're doing.
Oh.
Everything you need to do if that happens.
Yeah.
So go over here and you can't break this, so don't worry. You go to tools and then you're gonna go to comparative market analysis. We're gonna do a new CMA. You can name me whatever you want. I say Ronald McDonald. Just fill in all that information that you have. Also for a reference, you might want to. Sometimes you need the, you might need the, I have a brain, total square footage. That is like the exterior also, but we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. Just fill out what you know from there. And this is also not abnormal. Like sometimes you're getting this information, you've never met these people before. The tax card says something that's inaccurate, you can fix it at the listing appointment. Okay. It's also beneficial, maybe a little tip, if you guys can pull the deed, but I also understand that this is a rapid fire listing appointment, so don't worry.
The comparable properties, or you just put the information?
No, I would print the whole CMA. That's what I would do. You don't have to, because I understand you guys get charged to print. We'll just do it all virtually, but if I'm going to a listing appointment, I'm printing the CMA and I'm giving them a copy to leave. I even go the extra mile and we'll have it bound. Just like that. But you don't have to. It's just something that I like, just to make it easier for them to flip through, make it easier for me to present. And then I leave it there so that they have it. We'll take a look at it. You can do the address, you can do, yeah, whatever you want to do. Sometimes if it's like a family, like I'll say like, you know, the Crafts family or, you know, the Petrozelli family, whoever it is.
Oh, I can't. Hold on.
1841, maybe.
Unless
This
you
is where
really-
literally you just open on your tab. Google.
Right.
Code for North Andover, but I do that all day. Bye.
Oh. 1845. No. 4 5. Oh, I did that already.
Yeah, it's very redundant.
Oh.
Because it's giving the owner's information, and sometimes the owner doesn't live at the property they're selling.
That's
So that's
true.
why there's a difference there. Why there's-
How much you're closing?
Oh, I was still at 3:30. I had to do the walkthrough. I'm just doing all right though.
Was it empty?
It was good. It was like a carload left, but she has these giant fish. And while I was there, she was trying to scoop the fish out of the tank into a bucket that she's gonna give to a pet store. This is the seventh day.
Oh my
Real
God.
estate's fun.
The day of closing.
That's all right. I mean, it'll be cleared out.
Yeah.
So,
How do I do the two? I do like,
oh, just two. So if it's got 1.5, then just 2.
there's two. As long as just like you count just the full ones.
Oh, no, that's, so there's 3. So 2 full, 1/2. So that'd
Yeah.
be 3 total bathrooms. The lot size square foot, so that's what I was concerned about.
So can I go back on MLS or I'll just do it on this one?
Yeah, sometimes I Google
Oh, I
the
know.
address, I would Google the address and the old listing will come up on Zillow and I will sometimes use, I mean, I verify it.
I'm
nervous.
like, I feel like
I'm
I'm just
nervous.
like, I'm super like nervous. What is it?
So I would look up, yeah.
Oh, not zip.
It still showed up.
Oh.
I would never
Is it 'cause
normally
I'm
have you
cheating? 'Cause I'm
reference,
gonna, like,
yeah, no, I would
just-
never normally have you reference a Zillow thing, but this was a property I sold.
Okay.
But ordinarily, never use the old listing. Always do your due diligence, but I already sold that up, so, and for time's sake. Okay, let me see. It was 0.53 acres, right?
0.5.
58. So it's 25264.8 as far as square footage goes on that.
Oh, for the whole thing.
Yep, no, first look this one.
Oh, no, that's okay. Because it needs to be in square footage. So it's 25,264.
I do well. Don't overthink it. Guys, just in case you were wondering, I'm not really selling these houses, so it's really not that serious. This is where you want to mess up. This is where you want to fail, so you don't do it when it's someone that actually cares.
Don't overthink it. Okay, so
Air bill, but no.
what are
Oh,
you
wait.
looking for?
Air bill. Wouldn't it
Oh,
be in
okay,
the
so-
description? Or not? in the-
Well, if you go down, I'm sorry, I have this into my mouth.
Oh, that's okay.
So I would go back over here.
And I find.
For you, just to make it easier. I have it here, that's fine.
1981.
Okay, there you go, perfect. I knew it was the 80s, but I wasn't positive which one. That like water I've never seen. That's the most water damage I've ever seen on a property.
Okay, so. 1, 2, 3, 4, again.
I know, Jen did. Hey, how are you?
License, you used to work with me, come on.
Jen and Kate had ordered salad. Well, it's great to see you. I feel like I see you all the time. Yeah, leave it there, that's fine. Sashi's was my first job.
You want-
Hey, Sarah. So go up. You want to put the hat on? Yep, so you want to look close. I would just uncheck all of them. Or I select it. Yeah, there you go. It's probably been hold the last 6 months, so just change the time frame.
How long was
So like, I would do 18. Last time. So even if you click on this, it opens it up. Brian, how you doing? Yeah, and so. This is a subject. Like John Street. I wouldn't use it because this house is wicked old. So usually like if I have a property that's like 80s, I don't touch anything beyond like 2000. That's like usually where I cap it. If, I mean, even if you see something that's like 2005. Or if it's a little bit more on the dated side. I think in new construction though, I stay with that. I think I actually ran into that issue when I was there.
This is what, and basically, this is what I should be doing. Just keep writing what the features, it's just like the.
Oh, no, you don't even have to do that yet.
Oh.
So what we're gonna do here is now that you have all this basic information, you're gonna go back here. And
It
then-
says features.
You know, you don't have to do that. If it was something like a major addition or like something out of like a wine cellar or something crazy, I would
Like
like
something like. yeah,
something that
I-
is gonna add value to it that isn't otherwise reflected in basic information.
Mhm.
Maybe they have a guest house, maybe they have, you know, something crazy, but there's nothing crazy. It's just a regular old house. You just hit save there. And then you're gonna go to search the MLS. So what you're doing is you're gonna go look for houses that look like this house, fit the description of
With the
this house
square
in the same
footage.
neighborhood.
Okay.
And if you have a hard time finding comps, it's not abnormal because of how they say the market was. You can go back 12 months, go back 24 months. You gotta do what you gotta do. Obviously, you're gonna have to take into consideration that price difference over the last 2 years because the market was like, but take that into consideration when you're pricing. So you're gonna be looking for single family sold. You can also you can work in under agreements in your CMA if you want. You don't have to. When I first started, I only did solds. I was not comfortable doing the under agreements, especially now where they go so high. Over asking, it's kind of hard to use.
Comparative acres. Because.
Yeah, you know, the land, if this was like, if it was like an acre plus, then I would take that into consideration. But this is a small, regular neighborhood home, it's about half an acre. It's good yards, but nothing.
The
insane.
living area, we could just try to do 2824, right?
Yeah, I would honestly do a range. So I would do like anywhere from like 2,500 to 3,000.
Oh, you can do a dash like that.
And that's gonna bring in anything within that range. Just like bedrooms, I would do 3 to 4 bedrooms.
Okay. And like.
And
maybe
then
2 to 3
bathrooms, I would leave the same.
Okay.
Bathrooms look the same. And then year build, so I would do a range. I would do like 1979 to 2000. And then if you scroll down, I would add advanced criteria. So click on that and then look for style. So scroll down until you find style. It's going to be in alphabetical order. Style. And then you're going to click on that and then write in colonial.
Search.
And then hit add. Oh, when I scroll up, I would do 12 months. And then hit count. Let me see, what am I doing? I would undo the rented. Just do singles, there you go. Not count. And so that means we have to change it a little bit. So I would remove colonial. I have 15, so take a look at those 15 by hitting search now.
And so can, because this is all within the same, like, the year.
Yeah, so if you wanted to, so what, if you don't see any colonials here, because it's a colonial, it's gonna be valued at higher than if it were a split or a ranch. Colonial in this area is like the home that most people want, both sought after. They're valued at a higher price.
Yeah.
If you don't see any colonials and you feel like it's negatively affecting the CMA, like basically it's not giving them the true value of what their home is, we'll go back even farther. We'll go back 18 months and take a look. And then if it got really yucky, you could go outside of it.
Detached cape, is that?
A cape, I would not. So a cape is a style of home that I don't think, unless it's like a really incredible cape, that's comparable to a colonial. That you only can work with what you can work with, you know, and appraiser is going to be up against the same thing you're up against, and you want to be thinking when you're running a CMA, how's this property going to appraise out?
Mhm.
What are they going to come up with the value for? So I'll take a look at what's out there. A cape is it's like the closest thing to a ranch. It's got like a mini second floor. It usually just has bedrooms,
So it's a little bit
small hallway.
smaller.
Yeah, they usually have like, you ever be in a bedroom that has like slanted ceilings, that's a cape. So
And
a colonial is like
regular.
regular,
Okay.
2 floors, sometimes 3, like they have a basement level finish, and it's just like nicer property, nicer layout. So this is a detached cape. You can notice here, so this is 4 bedrooms. This is a good
That's
comp.
exactly what it is.
This is exactly, this is a good comp, so I would take this. It's a cape, but
Can I click? Yes.
yep, so you
One.
click that check mark. Scroll down. 4 bedroom, 2.5, 27. This is another cape.
So that it's similar, but not. It's
This
not
is a
the
good one
same.
though. This is a good one. 4, 3. This is a good one. I would get that. That's a cape. I mean, a colonial.
Oh, that's good.
Yep. And
That's
then
actually pretty accurate.
another colonial here. It's a good fit right here. Perfect. Another colonial here. 4, 2.
That's actually, that's good. 'Cause that's 2.5.
the comp.
I feel like, does it kind of matter a lot if it's like a 3 full versus 2 and 1/2? No.
Only because it's like shower, just poop with one and then you can shower. Like it's not that big of a deal. And an appraiser is gonna be up against the same thing, so they can only, like your property has 4 bathrooms, they can only find comps that support 3 bedrooms, they'll add value on that end.
So how many how many technically?
I like to
do
have
we
like
do
4 to
with
6.
Okay.
6 is a lot, but we can get rid of the capes because we have these colonials.
Yeah, so
So I would, this is a
3
good one.
bedrooms though.
Oh, hold on. No,
So
we
this
don't need
one's
that.
better because it's 4, 2.
Yeah. Girl,
Getting it.
see?
That one's decent.
Yeah,
So should we get
I
rid
think
of
that's
the other
good. Yeah, I
one?
would go get rid of the other ones.
Because I
And
think
then
I
what I'm gonna
got
have to do is
4.
I look at the condition too.
Okay.
So yeah, get rid of, yeah, so you're good. And then you're gonna,
It stopped here.
I think that's good though. What's this one?
That's colonial and it's
I would take this one.
a little bit less living area, but it's
No.
not like way off.
Now I would scroll up and hit the add button. Anyone have any questions? Any at all? Nothing? I just look for it. Sometimes I add one, so I'll add a flow, and then I take closer with them. So I pull them, I add them, I open them, and I open them in condition. That's why you need to know what's going with the stuff in the property, so that you can see like, oh, this is like stunning property. It's not gonna fit right. And you are gonna feel a little foreign doing this because you've never been home. And sometimes you are in that situation and you won't know until you get there. Like, oh, okay, well, the condition is way nicer than I thought, or the condition is way worse than I thought. That will also affect price. I have a question. So. You have a bill that is the tax bond, right? So I bought that, type it in. So we're trying to type in the address. I probably should have that first, right? I just like to look at pictures, so if I can look at before. But I probably should have searched it first before I did it. Doesn't really matter, just because it's just so. But it's just so that, yeah, there's a chance that if you. There's a chance that if you search it, there is some bonus, whereas they find a home for types and you're. So similar to the house, the apartment you're walking into tonight, you have no idea what it looks like, right? So scroll down and, the one, yeah. The one, any one of them should have photos from us. You can take a look at some of them. Perfect. And if you're doing a garden style condo and you find prompts that are within that unit, you definitely want to use them if they're good combo. I try and throw them in anyway, because I know the price was probably low too. So if you can take a look at some of the pictures that you, and give me specifically. Go up. That would be it. Yeah. So, so if you want to open a second, take copy of this down. Write this down. Oh yeah, just write it down and then just do open another energy window and then search that MLS number. Under closed, not new. Make sure you check out closed. Still fine.
How's it going? So I'm just
Looking
looking through
through.
each one. This one has the two-car garage.
Yeah.
Like I want to just try to find like the similarities. Which one is more similar?
Yeah, and if you think, I think that like the colonials are almost easier because it's like their own. It's just, you're looking at conditions. So I'm a note about your property, very dated. It looks like it's from 1981. And there's a ton of water damage in the garage, like water is pouring in.
Yeah. So I was like, how did you tell?
Oh, it was worked out for me, not on fire.
Oh.
I was like, it's a lot of water.
Because that's how they have to fix that.
No, my clients were okay with dealing with it.
Really?
They dealt with it. So just take a look at them. Take a look at the condition. If you think it's like, yeah, take a look at these photos. If you think the photos are like, "Oh, that's like a really nice, yeah, it was built in 81, but it looks like in 2015, they ripped it out and got into place. Well, don't use that comment.
Okay.
I just like to be more conservative with my numbers because it's only doing my clients a favor if I overprice the listing. It's not doing anything good for them.
Oh,
But it's okay. Still within the range.
Doing it on your house.
I do the same thing. I do 5 CMA first, just to get a quick idea. All right, what do I want to for cost? But a lot of times, I'm very disappointed with what cost. Any help? Are you done? Ish. Okay. And whenever you're done with your CMA, we'll write it to the contracts. Just go right into DocuSign, create a fake room, call sample fire seller 101 room, and then put your listing agreement together. What is it? 49? 49, 77? 320.
Says 289.
I'm telling you, it's low.
So that's why.
Yeah, it's too low. You'll definitely find, that was a tough one for me, because this is also, if you look at the square footage, it's like the size of a single family home. Oh, I think it was like 1,500. Check out yeah, it's like I'll say it was over 1,000 square feet.
If there's one that seems, like, a lot higher than a lot of the other ones I'm looking at, then should we do that one?
What do you mean?
So like this one, for example, sold for 385. It's 1940. It's
It's a bungalow or a ranch? It's a ranch. Okay, so for yours, the bungalows are tough because bungalows are very small, very awkward. They usually have a second floor that's like crouchy downy, like barely able to use. So do you have any bungalows in here?
So I have one bungalow, but this one's also a ranch.
The
and
ranch is
square-
comparable.
The square footage is
992.
not much less. The lot's not that much of a difference, but
Scroll
the
down.
price,
The price is high.
the price is a big difference in price.
Go down some more. I want to go down to see when it closed. Go back up. I did in the last 3 months. That's okay. So they both go back up. Do mark, quick check off market history. Scroll down. So it just sold. It's fun. I'll use it. Okay. Just the benefit. Look through the pictures, make sure it's not like.
Yeah, it looks. like
In
a
this
pretty
unit,
big-
17 lives, I don't know if you looked up the listing, if you're able to find photos of it online, but it's nice. They did
Yeah.
really nice work to it.
Okay.
I'm gonna look that one up.
And I pulled up the tax card.
Oh, wouldn't that be like so much nicer than-
40 Main Street unit. Did I give you the unit number? That's why. I just, I'm sorry. You got a unit number here. That's why. Let me see.
I don't know.
And that's okay. Sometimes that's gonna happen. Number 507 is your unit number.
So look that one up again. 40 Main Street, Stone, Mass, unit number 507. And you'll be having to use your time.
So this one.
Oh, it's not it, so it seems to be at 101, so go back. And if you do, last 12 months. That's it. So you can click on that to look at the pictures, to look at the size. Again, like Steve Kelly said at the top page panel, never use the listing, the old listing information. I used to look at photos if I haven't seen the property yet and get a general idea, but I'm going in and I'm doing all of my own research and providing all of my own information. You never want to rely on somebody else's work. Ow, ow. Yep.
So if I look at, I hope you.
Hold on. Yeah. I meant to have Debbie take a look at that. I need to. That's all. It's really nice.
Yeah.
So this is, so scroll down.
It's just that one part. So I think something's wrong. So let's, if we go back. So here's my comp salary. I can quarterly.
Take a look at all of them. And if they're all good comps, so like this comp is like 1 bedroom.
I know, but
One
couldn't find
unit,
any
there's
other
no
one
1
that
bedroom.
has.
How far back did you go? So go back further.
Go back one.
Go back further. You can leave these in here, but go back further.
It never shows the subject property on here yet. It will after. And I have to put the subject property
Oh,
on.
yeah, it wouldn't have let you stay there.
I just put that and do this.
So you want to fill this in, 1 bedroom, 1 bathroom.
600.
Okay. And then if there's no lot size, just put 0.
Okay, and then I just wrote the state of Roger, because I don't know what to do with that. You don't understand, right?
Yep, it's just whatever the name is, so whoever you're presented to really, or the property owner. I'm sorry. Yeah.
All right, so. See. Yeah.
Yep, and then go to the search LLS.
So I even went down here and I put it just started.
Perfect, so go up. I don't know what she was. Go up. And I want you to talk to. And keep it just type. Highlight it, type it. Oh, wait. Bedrooms? Only just put one. Right, that's only 7 bedroom garden, so. A 1 bedroom garden, so. Okay. See, there we go, across the street. That's what it comes down to, is just adding the criteria. Adding criteria, if you're not seeing anything after 6 months, want to go back. We're having to kind of do it in 3 months because it was so insane, but things seem to be normal. Yep.
It's honestly so strange because like these are the properties, like, I don't know, I moved this one out, it's like literally beautiful.
Yeah,
So
perfect.
I was like, that's my house.
Which one is it? 79
Seven.
down.
Yeah, the first one chose, because like, when you go click art, so obviously. you're looking at
But it's
this
okay if it's
house.
like,
It's only has 4 pictures, but just like looking at the inside, like, okay, you see what it looks like on the inside. Then you go to the first one that we just chose, like this one, and I was like, that's not even close to being the same. Like, it's way too nice. Like, look at look at how, look at that.
honestly, this is a good comp though.
It is.
Mhm.
I like a, it was, no, it's like, how do you
No,
compare that?
This is a
Like,
good
that's,
comp. I think that it's just,
beautiful.
this is just goes to show you how
Right.
presentation matters to a
Yeah.
certain degree, because you just thought that house was shitty, so maybe a buyer would see it if the house was. "Oh, look at that." And then look at this house, it's laid out nicely. They have a nicer kitchen.
It looks more like spacious even.
Yeah, I mean, colonials are generally laid out the same. I think that this is a good comp.
Like, it was more like,
And you don't want to rule out, like, you don't want to have imposter syndrome with your listing, because if it's going to benefit them and it's high, great. You know, like if
Yeah.
you're, and this is why I like to get a second opinion. Like, I'll do a CMA still to this day and have someone else look at it, just to make sure. Just be like, hey, do you think that this comp works or no?
cause like, so I was looking for like a house that looks kind of similar. I mean, this one looks decent compared to the other ones, so like. This is 16 Tucker. So the reason I chose for that, like this one more, it doesn't have a lot of, the other one does, it's not really a great copy either way. It doesn't have a lot of similarities, but like when you look inside,
It's just better condition.
it looks the same. It's kind of more smaller.
And that's also the photos, because your subject property, 561 Pleasant,
But like, look
is
at the-
big.
Yeah, like, and then this one's actually even bigger.
And that's okay. It's only bigger by like 50 feet. So that's okay.
But look at the acreage around it.
The acreage around it is definitely going to affect it.
Yeah.
But what we can do is we can do an adjustment for the acreage. So I would keep that as a comp. I think you got all good comps. Again, colonials usually like,
So, because what I'm looking for right now is obviously similarity in look, but also once I find the, like, a look that looks like similar, like I was looking
you want to
for,
look at condition. So you want to be looking at the condition of the property. Because the condition, so not so much the look, because some people have better taste and that just makes their house look better. I mean, what am I gonna do? This house specifically that my buyers bought, the house was very nice. And if it was had different furniture, it would look like a different home. It was just, their style was kind of dated.
well, like. with
So
the
try- you
condition,
have
I
to-
figured that one looked more retail.
Yeah, I mean, if, as long as it's not like, you'll know, I'll pull some after to show you of like what you should choose. But it's within the same square footage, it's within a reasonable date, and it has the same number of bedroom bathroom combo-ish. So I
Yeah.
think that all the comps you have, take a look at, like this one,
Like, you see that?
that one's not. No, don't use that. Yeah, don't use that one.
I just feel like it's hard to like compare when something looks like that and then,
Yeah, so this is a bad comp because it's too nice.
yeah,
So take that one out.
so, okay, hold on.
So yep, go back. And then whatever.
That was 2 cents for that.
Perfect. So then just hit delete, check and delete.
The last one is this one. I mean, I've just been looking for pictures and I've been seeing like the bedrooms, obviously we already see the bedrooms, but this one looks like it has a garage and it has 2 floors. This one's not too bad.
Oh, it's definitely up.
It's also not big. And so did the first one.
I know. I think I would
feel
use
like
it.
Looks fine.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
I
would
mean,
use it.
compared to, I think it looks more similar than the first one does.
No, I would definitely use it. What's the square footage on that one?
So this one is,
Oh, it's really not, that's a good
where do
one.
you see?
That's the acreage too.
Oh, right. Oh,
And
yeah,
then the
so-
approximate acreage is one
That's
and a half
huge.
acres. Yeah, so that acreage piece is something we can adjust and we'll get, do you see this price adjustments tab? That's where we're going next.
Okay.
How's it going? Yes, if you go to give your specific standard. So you're going to add. And then DocuSign forms. And then click on, yeah, that one. So type in search. And exclusive rights, that frame here, and agents.
Admit. Hi, Frank. This is a very interactive course today. Hang tight because you'll get the most out of it once everyone's done. I'm having everyone, I was assigned a subject property. They're doing their CMAs and their listing agreements, and then we're going to talk about it.
Okay.
Okay?
Did Ashley tell you that I was waiting?
Yeah, she just came in and let me know.
Okay. There's an echo, so I'll mute myself.
Okay, sounds good. Take your lunch. Whatever you want to do. If you want to do it later after goes to bed, we can do it in our next one-to-one. We can take a look at everything you've done.
I will just find out.
No problem. So just, now you have the information, you have all the information written down, take this, just, I would honestly go in and all the comps that you use, write down the MLS numbers. So you don't have to go do that search again, you can just enter the MLS numbers.
You have to put 4%.
You can start whatever you want, 4% is a good base, to start. Or you go lower if you want. Yeah, if you want. but That's about, and everybody.
All right, so I did was look at that. I have not really accepted. So here's my problem. So I have under for 5 months.
Yeah.
There was pictures there.
Yes, you guys see the picture.
I was in pretty good shape.
Yeah.
Like, you know,
It's very meticulous.
I haven't involved you guys. Just want the piece. One sold, 164. 160, 130, yeah. So when 161 might be down, they're right.
That's okay. No, leave it. It's wrong.
September is a year ago. So I'm not missing that.
So go to price adjustment, go to right next to it. And then go scroll down. And then just tap, click on PDF.
Small, I can't see it, and I not see it. Because he said net proceeds, when does that happen? The net proceeds does have.
The net, so you were,
You know,
the net sheet. The net sheet, so if you go back, close that and then just go back, should you do that? Or you can if you want. It's up to you. You can do a general,
oh, that's what I think. So, I gotta put the
percentage, you need to put the right Excel, your brokerage disclosure form. So you need a listing disclosure. Oh, yeah, just add, I am like, okay, sometimes I don't add, like, type around it, like, oh, go just for normal. Type in live, and it's like disclosure. And you can add multiple, so if you check one off, if you already have disclosure, that's great. That's the basics of what you need. I don't like to hit them with a ton of paperwork while that is. Just because they get a little, ew. So I just do what's necessary. I do brokerage disclosure, I do listing agreement, lead paint, and then wire and all that. Like, we don't do anything you need else, and I have some more contract meetings to get this going. If you have any questions, let me know. So I like to just do the basics. Overwhelming at posting fire. Val has an appointment, and Val's actually sold a couple of properties, so she does the same thing. She goes in and that's why I don't know why she's so stressed. She's already sold two listings. She's already sold two listings.
I forgot everything. I have a full-time job.
Oh, you're good.
I'm working remotely right now. So I'm not having to go. And I did the personal phone,
Yeah. Some people won't buy houses. No, nothing for value. Yeah, if anything, it would affect it because it's a liability. So, see, this is the things that you learn when you get into real estate. You watch HGTV and they're like, that pool's gonna happen on you, and it's like, no, it's not. Does it have a guest house? It has a guest house without a doubt. Do you wrote down all that MLS numbers that you have? So just work on it,
I'll work on it.
and then we'll book out one-to-one. Don't feel like you have to do it while you're doing your son's speech, just do it later.
Well, I don't want it, I just sit out and wait for him to
If you wanna work on it, you can. If not, don't worry about it. Yeah, I choose the right to sell, yes. You wanna do seller, so you wanna do the exclusive right to sell listing agreement with consent to designated dual agency. So, right here. You don't have to do dual agency, you can just, it's designated, but. You need that, you need the, I'll write it down. All right. Yeah. So. I can see we're getting to the end of our. Right. So I was just telling Matt, that is stuff that you do need. You need it, but when I'm doing an appointment, I don't bring all of that. It's overwhelming to them. If there's, not every client is weird about contracts, but the ones that are super weird. So you just want to, I don't want to overwhelm them. I'm showing them a lot of information. Sometimes they're disappointed by the number. I'm not trying to hit it with like 8 million things. They're not sure of. I just do the listing agreement. That's what's making them my client. I'm doing brokerage relationship disclosure and like tape. So do exclusive right to sell with designated and dual. This sometimes I set ahead of time, the brokerage relationship disclosure form. If I'm at the point where I go to the appointment with them, I say, oh, just to let you know, send it ahead of time. I'll do it last night. I'm just gonna send this to you over to DocuSign, but if not, I just bring a copy. Sometimes I send it through DocuSign and I bring a copy. Whatever you want to do. I'm a little on the anal side of things, so I like to do things 8,000 times. And you're also, depending on the year of your subject property, you're gonna need a lead paint.
What number is that?
What happened?
What number is that?
Brokerage relationship. Also type in mandatory. And then don't forget exclusive right to sell. You're like, you don't need to let me. I think that's it. Anyone who has a condo, you want to maybe add into your listing presentation, hey, can I have a contact to the condo board? I specifically want you to ask me that question. You. Because I got a fun loop to throw you. You just want to make sure you have a condo, you're getting financial records for the condo. There's going to be some sort of association that they manage the fund overall of that condo fee. You're going to want to ask them what the condo fee
How do we
is.
do that? I'm on another.
You're just asking, your seller, at the appointment. Yeah, so if you have a condo. So if you have a condo, you're looking for your, the financial, I just say financials or budget. Rules and regs. And Is there any special assessments? B, what does it include? And if they're like, I don't know, you just ask, can I have a contact to the association? Especially if you're fine, you actually have to ask. Yeah, you want to ask, just keep a note, you don't need to be anything formal, just keep a note of, I have to ask them, it's fine. What does your fee include? Are there any special assessments? What are the rules and regulations, bylaws? And can I have a copy of the budget? And meeting minutes. Sometimes if they have meeting minutes, send meeting minutes.
What do you mean by fee?
So when you live in a condo, it's shared living. And there's a shared fee associated with maintaining all of the stuff that's outside of your four walls. So there needs to be a roof, if there needs to be flooring, there's damage to something, there's also master insurance they have to pay for. These are all things that are covered in that fee. If an association, if you're talking, so as a seller, I want to know, is this association healthy? Because if it's not, that's going to be a hurdle we're going to have to be facing. If there's no money in reserves when I look at the budget, that's going to be an indication to me that, okay, this might be a hard sell because there could be a special assessment happening. A special assessment is when they don't have the funds to cover. So they add a fee on top of your condo fee. So you could have a condo fee of $200 and then a special assessment of $260 additional for 5 years. That could affect someone's ability to purchase the property if they can't afford that extra money. So that's something that you want to keep in mind when you're doing a condo. You don't have to do like, for me, I'm not gonna ask you guys to do like the presentation, like a slide show or anything. I just want to do the conversations. That's the hard part. Presentation is the easy part. We're just gonna do the conversation.
To start paperwork, and I have to put like a seller 101 to command. Or is it like
Oh, no,
that's the
so if
only
you
way I
just
know
go
it?
right into DocuSign. So go to DocuSign, sign in, you can create a room, and I just use like, you can write sample. Try again. So a little tip, I explain the math one, just like I explained the English one, because it's just. So for you, you need to let me, exclusive listing agreement, exclusive rights is out, and your brokerage disclosure, mandatory brokerage disclosure.
So,
That's the one. This one, and then click on that. And I'll go to words. And it's like a word for it. Underside. There it is. So just fill out those three. Just delete it. Sometimes I get super confused because it's just too many. We gotta go to create a real. Oh. Your additions. And then switch to rooms. And we've got two additions here. Yes, you can have my information. And, it'll open you up once you get there. I'll show you how to actually work. How you go. I think, yeah. Nope, do it on your own time. Okay. So I would ordinarily print it, bring it, but where we're doing this virtually, and I don't want you guys to pay to print anything. You just have to have it, so. Do you need help filling it out? Just automatically comes out.
I don't know if you want me to.
Thank you, buddy. I'm sorry. But it's gonna be helpful. It's gonna be good.
How you doing, Frank? Hanging in there? Yeah, well, it'll be good for Frank to hear when, you know, you guys are presenting. And I get to be my clients.
So now. Okay, so you want to. So hit add. DocuSign forms. And then click on mass association. And then you can search. I don't always know a lot. And I don't want to sorry. So I do the mandatory disclosure. That's why I put mandatory for us. That's how I search it. All right. And then what's that? I. Ooh. Ooh. So we have to use designated individual. Yep. If you don't do designated agency, that means that you just follow under contract with every agency. So they need to be designated as their personal. Yes, I'd like you to fill them out. We're doing okay on time. We still have an hour, so. Try and fill them out the best you can. You guys see how, you know, I don't know what you want to know what here. Yeah, no, review your market analysis, have that number. Keep in mind that, you know, you're gonna want to, that could change depending on when you look at the property. Yep. So. Look at the address in there. And why I pulled the tax card, but if you can find it on Community, that's fine too. You're gonna want people engaged in the county. No, address of the profit subject property. So 40 Main Street, number 507 Stone, but you're also gonna have to look at the look at page number. You can find that on the tax card. If there's a way to look it up in the MLS, of where this is the way for the MLS, do it that way. I would like to make a search it, like just type in for find option over that.
Can I type in let's pay bills?
It's like disclosure. Yep. So that's the book number and that's the page number. Command F. It's just like on a regular PC and you control F. It's just Command F. I wish I left the phone somewhere. I asked Siri, so if you go talk to Siri and you go and say, hey Siri, what county is on the map? That's what I want. I think it's Suffolk, could be Essex though. Not weird area. a little reminder of how much research you've done on this property in just an hour and a half. So when they are questioning your value, it's like a glimpse of what you'll know about the property by the end of it. Sorry, coming out for more of you do. I don't want to.
Ashley, how long before the presentation starts?
Well, we're not gonna be doing, it's interactive, so there isn't gonna be any sort of like presentation that way. It's, so basically, once they finish up, should be soon, they're just doing their contracts. I'm gonna go group to group. I'm the homeowner, they're gonna present their stuff to me. So I would say probably 15 minutes.
Okay, I'm gonna come by.
Okay. Sounds good. Man, he lives that close?
There's no cameras in there. No comment, comment.
Cameras, no.
It's not a recording device.
Nope, does not. Does not. None of these have rings or cameras or anything. But that is a question that you would also, if you've never met me, you might ask that going investigation. Okay, we have one, you don't know. You just go in and say, hey, by the way, I know there's a ring, or is there anybody over the door, and you just check out. Yeah, you say your license number, if you don't have it. Okay, but it would not have your license number. If you just want to do like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for time's sake, you can certainly do that. I don't know what the I think it's 747. Let me take a look.
Still 3 months, right?
For a listing agreement?
6 months?
Sometimes I do a year. Depends on the property. Oh, this is Debbie's. Hang on 1 second. Oh, what was that? Yeah, you want to take it? Yeah. I believe that the brokerage number for here is 7475 or 7473.
Yeah, so you can do, it depends. If this is a property where I'm gonna be working with them for a long time, like for instance, I have a property in Everett that I'm listing soon. I've been working with them since February. You know, and I'm gonna need a longer agreement with them, so that you would work on it, February. This is your fee, so this is what you get paid, so this is how you know. So if you want to do 4%, whatever the fee is, you, because you're on a team, it's probably a minimum. It's probably a minimum of what Jeffrey would like, so you want to discuss that with him. For just what we're doing here, 4 is fine. You can do it on the net or the gross. If I'm ever taking a listing at 4%, I'm doing it on the gross. But you can do whatever you want. And what that basically means is that if you were to do it on the net, say there's like a huge issue, those slider doors that are full of water and terrible, they're gonna need to be replaced. And it's discovered during home inspection, I might get $5,000, but I might give a $5,000 credit to the buyer, so you're gonna get paid on whatever the sale price is, less that $5,000. It's gross and you get paid on whatever it sells at. Yeah. No, I'm just trying to- Oh, you just paid. This is what MLS you put in. You can put it in that. Just write it all out. I do that. Okay. It's better to be. There's too much. So 4%, and so this section means that if they were to say, wait out your contract, so if your contract ends, and then they immediately go and sell their house to somebody else, there's a certain period, a grace period they have to wait. So 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, it's really whatever your preference is. Again, you are all business owners. How you run your business is always best practices you can look up and reference, but it's how you run your business. Yep. Yes. Wonderful. I always like to just familiarize myself with these paragraphs. and put together a little script in my head of like, what does each paragraph mean summarized. Brokerage, so this is the Massachusetts multiple listing system. It's asking what MLS are you putting it in? So you're gonna put it in Massachusetts.
Why, I mean, because it's in a street.
Huh?
Because it's in a state.
No, so this is like additional terms I always leave open if there's something that I know ahead of time, I'll put it in there. So for instance, Brian's is gonna be conditional upon me purchasing a home. And so is hers
That's
for
good.
you.
That's the additional term.
Additional, so that's just,
Subject to selling harmony.
yep, that's it. The seller is just finding suitable housing.
That's what you should.
Yeah, you can do home time, that's fine, that's all we do. I.
No, I'm saying, that's, I thought.
Yep. Exactly right. And not all properties are gonna be, if they don't need it to be, the less contingencies in the contract, the better, because it's gonna be more marketable to a buyer. So if they don't need, if it's not contingent upon the purchasing, they already purchased, or they're moving family, then it's unnecessary for doing it.
There's money.
Yep, that's who you, that's designating you as their agent. So if that section wasn't there, so there is just an exclusive right to sell, that is just the exclusive right to sell, with no designated agency. Without that designated agency, every agent in this building is now their agent. So it doesn't work that way. Used to back in the day, not anymore.
If they have the dates and stuff.
They go up.
The sound and stuff.
For, no, because when, if you were gonna send this to me, like as far as date signed, is that what you're saying? Sure. Oh, yeah, no, you don't have to send it for anything like that. We're just gonna talk about it.
So I'm sorry, I forgot, is it, you said, you just said it, designated agency?
Designated.
No, not designated.
No, so this is fine. So you're designated here. That's fine. Don't overthink this. Here's our seller's agent. Yeah, you don't need to. That's why.
And what is the second one I wanted to as well as.
Because that would mean that you're no longer talking to the seller, you're talking to the buyer. You can do that next time. Yeah, you can, if you want to press a copy, print a copy, and bring it with you, whatever you want.
Was he able to get the page and everything from the?
So he did it in the MLS. So if you would do Control F. and then type it in. Saleable. Sale page. So it's a booking page number that's recorded at the registry of deeds. Because again, it's legally binding contract about property. And that's gonna go back when you eventually sell their home. It's gonna be recorded under the old booking page number. There's gonna be a new booking page number created. CNA, or property, if there's any properties that I need to know about, based on your expertise in real estate. So there's some questions you might want to ask. Okay. Now, questions you might want to ask. So I would prep it. Yes, that's awesome. I would prep it. Like in some time. Just get some time. Just prepare for who you're talking with. I'm gonna go the rest of the quick when I come back. I'm gonna start telling you a little bit about who I am as a client. That can maybe help you in your presentation. All right, got it. Sounds good.
The Spanish shortstop at least.
Did I miss anything?
I just don't know what to price it.
So what is the CMA to do the PDF of the CMA? Go back to the MLS. So, yeah. Did you kind of just look up? Yes. Did you write the MLS numbers down? No. That's okay. That's okay. That's okay. So basically what you want to do is go to tools. And then go to comparative market analysis. And this is the one. No, that's a different one. So just do the CMA. It won't take long. So they can see whatever you want to pay. That's serious. Ordinarily, obviously, we would whoever's on the team. Joe Schmo, it's my favorite. You know, I get updates in my email every day for Joe Schmo search. Because I did one last one. That's strong. What do you have?
Oh, for new sandwich.
Oh my God, where's that from? Sarah, can I ask you watch everything. And it's like a productivity. Click on that, and that will take you all over types of. And it's the same tool as well as that. So now you can access it. Yeah. When you load your drive, it's going to say, oh, totally okay. Okay, now search MLS. Okay. Now, if we don't have the, do you know what you do for a search? Like what criteria you put in? Yeah. So just put all that same criteria in. Okay. And then we already know what properties we're looking for, so it'll be easy to like think back. So just once you get that search and you have all their boxes checked, I'll come back over and get that. I'm gonna share it with myself.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, no problem.
It's for you. They're always, that board is gonna change as we do new things. So as we record more trainings, as we find like what's working, what's not working, that board's gonna more change, have more value. There's also, if you type in the training dashboard, so if you go to the drive and type in training dashboard, that's for the training that's through the whole office, not just the productivity coaching program. And that has really good information on it. Ashley just redesigned it, it looks awesome. Okay, you got it. All right, I will take a look. So, oh. Yeah. That's the report that you're gonna show me and we sell it. Ordinarily, so if you guys do this, special vision, you have someone else will do it. I still do. I've been doing this for like 4 years, and I still got to do this. Once you, like, oh, say it's weird. I hear you. Good. Well, yeah, that's, the outcomes, and you kind of sort of don't worry about it. You really see the same thing, very easy. Here are the addresses and you know what's wrong. Okay, so if we just go to subject property, here are the addresses. And then do whatever you thought on the first time for the service. You know what properties are easy to add. Once they're checked off, I'm finally possible. Government tends to be a very sensitive thing, right? Depends on how much there is. Dog tooth wiring is not necessarily something that is like a legal. It's just not ideal, especially for home insurance. Make home insurance really high. So you'll find out when we have our presentation that you notice an audit tooth, just mention it to me when you talk to me. At the list presentation. For the purposes of, knowing about audit tooth, is actually recording on this kind of training dashboard of a home inspector that came in, and he covered a lot of good information about audit tooth. Just basically like old school wiring, it's a big fire hazard, it's covered, it's not technically illegal, so if someone wanted to tell you to keep rocks, they could, but realistically, a seller, or in seller 101, is gonna, as an agent, they're gonna be paid for it. So it's best to just deal with it if you can afford it. It's better to get ahead of it. Someone might say, I'm gonna try to sell it anyway, that's okay. And maybe they're right, maybe they have someone who doesn't mind paying $3,000 a year at home insurance. Who knows? No, you're right.
I would definitely have to do it again.
Oh, yeah. Here, Jerry. Hello. There's no pressure there. Down 728. 287. Four, three. 144. Seven two eight. 176. Right. Yeah. 727. 49. 00. Could do the price adjustments on that sheet, but first, do it to rest of the hold up and then look through the report, you'll see the number of actions based on that. So based on, as far as like the purchase price, I also sometimes when I go to the appointment, leave it empty.
You know, this is a recommendation you're making based off of the data that you have. So if they're not gonna agree with that data, as you know, we've discussed, that happens. You don't, you know, you're and your mom, exactly. It's a $650,000 house trying to sell for $899. I'm sure when she brought the listing, she didn't say $899. So yeah, I sometimes leave it at just so that if there's room for negotiation, I'll work with them. to try to agree. If you want to move over here, there's a plug-in right here. Right. So. Does anyone raise one? Who wants to go first? Well, here, tribute. Anyone have any Twilight fans in here? Oh, no, that's not this. I'm one of those people that reads all those books. I'm not taking on Val, put it on you. Val has a listing agreement, has a listing agreement, so. So, hello, how are you?
My name is Karen. My name is Karen.
Yep.
And I am Karen. My name is Karen. How are you? Devastated. My brother died. Tony referred me to you. Saying you're excellent. What do you think I could sell my house for?
I'm very nice to meet you. I'm so sorry very much.
Oh, thank you so much. I'm gonna help. Thank you. Okay. So, question. So, we're here. We're at this place. We're in this one bedroom, meticulously maintained, as I said, very clean. I spend a lot of time cleaning. It's a hobby of mine. I wash the toilets before you clean. Okay. What do you think the house is worth?
Well, let's over a few questions and few questions. Sure.
Okay.
Like, you know, a little bit more about the people collecting.
Okay.
So, it's in the state.
Yeah.
And whether it's a work or it's different.
Yeah, I've been named the executive, so I'm good to go. I can sign anything. I got a brother. If he messes this up for me, I'm gonna be very upset. I'm the executive. If you hear from my brother, tell me.
Okay. All right.
It's really bad.
So I just, if you do choose to go with me, you know, there's a process. I probably just need, you know, the executive thing first. We can get into that later as far as, you know, the legal jargon as far as, you know, right to sell or whatnot. But, so what are your expectations? I know you don't worry about how much you want to sell it for, but what do you think of the?
I want to move it as fast as possible. I'm paying this guy's rent, this is mortgage. I already have my own house. This is my brother's. I gotta pay for it. I got no money. He's got no money. I can't access his bank accounts. Can't touch anything since it's in the estate until I sell his place and the estate's wrapped up. I'm really just, I want to sell as fast as possible. If I can put it on tomorrow, I'll put it on tomorrow.
I don't want to answer realistic questions.
No,
It's my first
realistic,
business,
right? Just give me some price. If you're dealing with someone like Karen,
You want
she just wants to know how much.
Okay.
I don't live here, it's vacant. It's my brother's place, he's dead. I live
I
somewhere else.
don't need to go into with the mortgage and all that.
No, what do you can ask? What do you want?
Yeah, well, let's see if they know more.
I don't know. I don't know, it's not mine. I mean, he bought it for like 80,000 like 3 years ago, so it can't be that bad. Okay, no problem. You're also, this is a referral from an attorney, so the attorney's done some vetting on the place. You don't need to go into it to a certain extent. And if you're dealing with someone like me, like how I'm behaving now, you have a relationship with the attorney, talk to the attorney about these questions. So I'm clearly just wanting to get rid of it as fast as possible. So how much do you think I can sell it for?
I did a quick sort of, you know, like, just public record, okay?
Yeah.
Just to, you know, ease your mind, you know, right now, there's a range between 130 and maybe 140,000. It might be, you know, going right, you know, particular condo.
I'm okay with that.
It's a one bedroom, you know, I see that, you know, it was sold, you know, just about 2 years ago, and, so the market has been gone up a little bit since then. But what does it have to, is it, all right, so you want to ask like personal questions?
I just don't know what you want to ask for
Yeah.
is subject to the property. So Okay, that's great. The property's worth between 130 and 150. Now that I've seen it, it's smaller. I'm gonna stick with 130.
Okay.
Maybe we can do 135.
Yeah.
However, I need to know what is the fee. I need to know that because if there's a buyer that comes in and their max budget is 130, they're not gonna be able to afford the 130 plus the fee.
Okay.
So I need to know how much are you paying per month for this
So
association?
you asked how much it's worth. So I did a quick analysis and I see they're selling anywhere from 130 to 150 a year. I have to ask you a few questions. So, what are your condo fees? 250. 250. And do you know if there are any ongoing special assessments?
I asked the lady. She hasn't gotten back to me yet, but I don't think there are any. I don't think there are any. They just replaced all the heating systems 2 years ago.
Okay, so that will come into play when a potential buyer comes in if there's special assessment, because that has to do with it.
I'll give you the name of the lady.
All right, sure thing, we'll look into that. So, I'm gonna walk around and we'll take a couple of pictures, just for myself, it's not gonna listing or anything right now, I just wanna go back and really.
Yeah.
We can.
Well, when you're in this condo, it's very small. It's very obvious. It's 130.
So,
You don't need to tell them. If you walk in, don't tell them they can go for 150 if you know it can't. So the range was between
130,
130, 150, and now you're in here and you're like 130, period. You know,
Yeah, I was-
and your
I
head
was
is
gonna-
130.
I was gonna say 130. But I thought it was-
So just do that and be confident. See, Val's nervous. Don't be nervous because you're gonna be dealing with these people. And how much research has this lady done on this property? None. How much time did you just spend doing all this? Exactly. You're looking at comps that are comparable. You've looked at stuff that doesn't work, stuff that does work. Be confident in your assessment. 135, great. I believe it. Let's do it. Give me the paperwork.
Okay, all right, so, here's our paperwork, and so I have 3 documents for you.
Okay.
Property was built in 1971, so there's this, it's mandated in Massachusetts law, which you have to, I have to hand this to you, it has to do with like, are you aware of any of that things with the property?
I don't think so.
No, okay,
I don't
so,
think so.
so this is like a 10-page document, and I'm gonna send it to you via email, and so just put the document that you're aware of, and then sign it. But this is your copy for you to keep, you can read over it, and.
If I have any questions, can I call you?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Then you're starting to get an email, any questions, you give me a call. This is the list, do you want to first do listing agreement first?
I go into what I think the condition is. So you want to roll it first? I'll do you. I'll be.
Yeah,
Okay.
please. Right?
So, hi Karen, how are you?
Great.
Good. I'm so sorry to hear about the loss of your brother. It's really tough. I can't even imagine what you're going through. The property's in great condition. It looks like you've done a really good job. You painted the cabinets. It's really clean. It's on the smaller side. It's only 1 bedroom. So I thought initially maybe we could do a little bit better, but I'm thinking 130 is probably about the number that we're at. Could you let me know, is there any special assessments, do you know? No, because my brother died and he lived here and I don't know anything. I've never here. Okay, no problem whatsoever. I'm gonna read, could you have a contact to the association?
I
that
do,
can reach out
I
to?
do, not only internet, yeah.
Send me that information. I'm gonna deal with all that for you. I'm gonna make sure I'm gonna ensure that there's no special assessments. I'm gonna find out the fee. It's important I know that because if there's any buyers that come through here that can't afford their mortgage plus the association fee and any special assessment, I need to know. So I'm gonna figure that out for you. To start, I'm gonna give you this brokerage relationship disclosure form. This is explaining that there is a difference between customers and clients in the state of Massachusetts. Right now, you've not signed a listing agreement with me, so you're a customer. As soon as you sign this listing agreement with me, you become my client. There are certain things I owe to you, and that is explained in this disclosure. I'd like you to review it after I leave. And if you have any questions, feel free to let me know. I'd be happy to answer them for you. If you're uncomfortable signing, there's a section here that you can initial that says you're uncomfortable signing. It says right here at the top, it says this is not a contract. Just a disclosure so that you know your rights in the state of Massachusetts when it comes to selling, buying and selling real estate. Next, listing agreement. This is going to show you how you're hiring Keller Williams. You're hiring Keller Williams to list this property for you, and I'll be your designated agent. The R fee is 4%. 2 of that is going to go to the buyer agent, and 2 of that is going to come to Keller Williams. Do you have any questions about the listing?
Yeah, how long is it gonna take to sell my house?
So I would like to do it for 6 months. I'd like to do it for 6 months because the market's slowing down to the fall. We're heading into the school season, Christmas season is a chance that things could slow down. So for your sake, I would love it if we could, have a 6-month contract. We'll reevaluate in 6 months if we think it's considered, if we want to keep the sale together. If it's not, I'm sure that it will sell. This is a very desirable area. It's right outside UMass Lowell. It would be great for an income, potential income property for somebody. And there are a lot of people that are looking at this range that there's just no inventory. So I don't think we'll have an issue selling. But if we do, we can reevaluate in 6 months. Are you okay with being in a 6-month contract? Okay, so you just sign here. Great, now you're my client, you're my client. What I would like to add, oh wait, step back, don't sign it. Are you ready for me to set up photography to come through here? I'm gonna have my photographer come through. Are you ready for that, or do you want to wait? Karen's very motivated because she's paying for 2 properties, one which is not hers. So yeah, I want them in here as soon as possible. Great, I'm gonna leave here now that I have, once you sign this, and I'm gonna set up my photographer to come through. They're gonna do floor plans, photos. As soon as I get those photos back, I usually get them back within 24 hours. I'll put it up. Once I sign this listing agreement though with you, I have to have it in the MLS within 24 hours. So what I'm going to add, the additional provisions, if you don't mind, is that the property will be entered into the MLS no later than 2 weeks from now. And I'll pull up the date on my phone and I'll add that in. Is that all right with you?
Yeah, it's fine. I was writing notes, but like, what?
I don't know.
Right, well, I can't,
You can.
I'm just appointed tonight, though. I don't know if they're ready, and that's why.
That's
Once they
okay.
sign it,
It's a conversation. So this is a conversation I've already had. I know how to play. It's a conversation. If you go to your listing appointment tonight and they're like, oh, God, no, I don't know. Say, okay, no problem. Not a problem at all. You know how to read people. You're in property management. You deal with angry people all day.
so that's what I write it on that thing.
Additional provisions. And they may not be okay with signing the listing agreement. They would say, you know what, I'm gonna do a couple more agents first. So, you know, I don't really want to sign that right now.
Well, I tell you what, I know I kind of went a little quick, and I said 24 hours, we can get you on there, we get this sold. How would I put under additional terms? Property to be listed in the Massachusetts MLS on or before. And you tell me when do you want me to put it on there?
I think I need like 4 months to get it ready.
4 months? Okay, so let's do like, all right, so that's.
So this is a speedy listing appointment.
All right.
Listing appointment should not be this
Thank you very
fast.
much. Have a good day.
Thank you very much. Have a good day.
Then we'll-
The part when you said you gotta get it in within 24 hours, but you're gonna wait 2 weeks. to put it into the-
I'm adding in the additional provisions of my contract that it may be listed in the MLS no later than whatever date.
So then you don't have to get
So
it.
then I don't have to wait for 24 hours. Hi, my name's Jane.
So what was the part where you tell her she's gotta get the apartment cleaned up?
It was already clean. That place was ridiculous. Guy died. She'd been ready to go. It was referred to me by an estate attorney. At the point that I'm getting the information from the estate attorney, it's pretty much, they're good to go. Okay, so I'm Jane. How are you? Grace me, yeah. So my daughter really wants me to buy this house with her. We're actually already on a contract with you. You already kind of know me. We're in the middle of buying a house, right?
Yeah.
All right, perfect. Well, it turns out that I have to sell this place because I have to put more money down. Because in Bedford, our loan's a jumbo one. So we gotta get this done as fast as possible. What do you think about this?
It's a nice condition.
Yeah.
So you got 2 long back balconies. You have any dog hunting chance?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, there's a lot of evidence of my dogs everywhere. This is just a side note.
During your appointment.
You roll up and you know that there's animals. So what I would say is, could I pay for a cleaning service to come through? If you want to pay for it out of your pocket, I'll give you a credit at closing for the cost of that. Because I do think that we need to have a clean person come through here. That would be the conversation I have. So what do you think my house is worth? Because, you know, this is my mother's place. I'm really the executor of the place. And like my sister is like not even involved. And I just really want to know how much I can sell it for because like we need to get this going because, you know, our financing deadline for Bedford is coming up and this is a surprise. I didn't know we had to sell this place.
Perfect. So I actually ran a Cedar Maine right before I got it.
Okay.
And the average listed price for come out. So 450 or 450.
Okay.
I would say you should listen.
That's exactly what it was. Okay, so I'm okay with that, but my mother got a cash offer a couple of years ago for 500,000.
Do they have any fun?
We just did-
They're gonna say we are still. That just makes you uncomfortable. Yeah, the market's changed. I mean, what I would say is, listen, if I get a $500,000 cash buyer, no problem. I get paid on a percentage basis. So if I could put it on for 500 and I thought that would benefit you, it'd be done. But if I overprice your listing, it's just gonna go stale. We're gonna get one limited by interest. Do you think you'd be willing to do 475? You try. What about 480?
Already a little pricey.
How about 479? All right. I want to try 475. Are you okay with that? All right, cool. All right, we'll try 475. All right. Is there anything else I should know? Where do I sign? I just want to get this over with. I want to get it on. My daughter is really upset. She really just wants to buy this new place. Okay. What is that?
So basically, it's not a contract. People were saying, your customer, and since right now you haven't filled out people.
You would sign an agreement.
You sign an agreement, technically, you're not my client. So until you sign this paperwork, legally binding, that we're working together, and you just.
Okay. All right, I'll sign it. How long, well, what is, where's the dates? Like how long?
So like I said, it's not a contract. just the-
Oh, okay, this is the disclosure. Okay, great. All right, I'll sign that. Next.
And then now it's exclusive rights to sell. It's
And what is this?
basically saying you're with Keller Williams. And it explains how Keller Williams will give you 4% and 2% fixed for the buyers.
So what you want to make sure that when you say our fee is 4%.
Oh.
2 of which is going to the buyer, 2 is going to Keller Williams. Because you don't want them to say Keller Williams is going to get 4%. That could be something of like, wait a second, you're taking 4% of my proceeds. So make sure they know the fee for our services is 4%. And it's custom. So wait, I have to pay for this, the buyer's fee too?
Oh, yes.
Why?
So as far as selling a house that comes with.
It's a standard process. You say it's standard in Mass, New Hampshire for the seller to cover the cost of admission because the buyer has to come to the table with additional funds to close the loan, and that can be somewhere between, anywhere between $10,000 to $15,000 depending on where it is. I'm good with that. That sounds good. How long are we under contract for? What's these dates here?
So typically I would range 26 days plus.
Can we do 3? Because what if I don't want to do this after 3 months? All right. Cool. So just after 3 and I'll sign it. Good job. You got a listing. These are very fast. These are very fast. Am I scaring you all?
No,
Yeah. They're real people.
You get like stuck on like.
Yes, well, because you've not done it.
Yeah,
I haven't
exactly.
finessed because I've done it. You will get there. I was just like you. I was. Oh, shit. Okay.
I have to hear another time when it's done, so I would wait. Keller Williams will go through this review.
Yeah.
He is Keller
Where am
Williams,
I?
you're hiring Keller Williams.
Oh, Hoffman. Hey, how you doing? My name's Mike. What's going on? How's it going, kid? Let's get this done. All right, so it's my dad's house. Yeah, my dad's in the state sale. We're already all set here. So my mom's alive, it's technically her house, but she's upset. She's my dad dealt with all this, so we're just gonna deal with it. All right, let's get right to brass tacks here. How much you think?
470.
470, all right. I was thinking 500. Wait a minute. You don't think so? All right. Maybe we'll try. I'm gonna look at your comps and then I'll say, in this situation, I say, listen, we could try for 500, but I'm thinking of how the appraiser is gonna value the property at. So even if we got an offer at 500 and there's an appraisal, which is gonna be probably 90% equal, it's gonna bring the price down to exactly what I'm telling you. You're better off listing it appropriately because then you're more apt to get a buyer that would have an appraisal and maybe they have to overbid to get it and you'll get closer to that 500 number.
Right.
So that's what I would say. I know, I'm trying to make that. So sorry. Mike is intense. This client is intense. Okay, so I mean, I looked at your comps and I agree. If you say, listen, you're the expert. If you say 470, I'm gonna do 470. That works. That works for me. I'm okay with that. So let's just get this signed. You know, I want to get this along. I got my own house. My wife's dad died too. We're doing that one. You're gonna sell that one too. So let's just get this all wrapped up.
Okay.
Show me, what do I gotta sign?
So you're gonna send me a seller disclosure,
Okay. Yep. So this is mandatory disclosure.
mandatory disclosure.
This is also, Matt, you know me personally. You've known me for a while. So you could just feel it. This is the disclosure. You're hiring me as your agent. Now you're gonna sign this paperwork. Great. So this is the disclosure that's stating this is what you're owed once you hire me. But read it on the back. If you got any questions after, just give me a call. I'll be happy to answer them. And then just talk about the listing agreement. The listing agreement. All right. So you're sure on the 470? Okay. All right. I'm okay with that. So I want to do this contract. You know, how long do you think it's gonna take to sell?
Things will fly out the work, so.
Fast. You think it'll be fast? All right, good. Because I want to get the hell out of here. All right, good job. That's listing. That property sold at a yard sale. I didn't even get to put it on the market. I didn't even get to put it on the market. They had a yard sale. They were clearing all the stuff out. Someone came and offered them 500,000 after I told them no. I told them 475, and they said, "Okay, fine." Exactly what I just did to you. I'll do that. That's okay. And they sold at a yard sale for 500,000 with no appraisal. Or no, there wasn't an appraisal, and they came up with the difference in cash somehow. Roughly. We did have to do a slight reduction, I think. But hopefully I didn't just give it up. But in a normal setting, we have more time. Take a look at what you've done here and think about how would you explain this to somebody? You know what I mean? Read it. If you have any questions, ask your mom, ask if you want ask another agent now, me and you in our next one-to-one, I can show you how I explain it. I just like to pull the listing agreement out and say, here's this section, this is what this means. You're hiring Kelly Williams as your agent. Here's my fee, it's gonna be about 4%. 2% stays with me, 2% goes to the buyer. This next piece means that you're designated me as your agent. Keller Williams is who contracts me out, and I'm the agent. So this is who you're hiring. I like to do 6-month contracts. If you're uncomfortable with 6-month contract, we can talk about it, but realistically in this market, we're not gonna meet the 6 months, but I like to have it just in case. This section here means that if you step out of this after the 6 months, say you wait our contract out, I don't think you would, I think you're a stand-up person. Say you wait our contract out because you don't like working with me and you're too scared to ask for a release. Well, you have to wait it out another 30 or 60 days if you think you're just gonna get in line with another agent. Again, if you're uncomfortable with this, if at any point you don't think that I'm providing good enough service to you, please ask me for a release because I have no problem giving it to you. So in that instance, that's just how I like to explain it. Try and learn these contracts. When you go to Debbie's classes and stuff, she should be going over with you how to explain these contracts. I'm just trying to be the intense guy that would be on the other end of the table like that. Mike is an intense guy. That's not a hard one. We don't have time. It's okay. Oh, no. We got time. We got time. We got time. I told them I might be late to my closing, so I was looking forward to this. All right. Who are you again?
Lennox.
Oh, these people are the best.
Oh my God, how are you?
Good. How are you? Oh my God. I miss your mom. You sold her house across the street.
Oh.
That's how, oh God, I'm so happy to have you here. Yeah. Okay. So this house is terrible. It's terrible. It's so small. The roof is horrible, but we just have to move. The boys, they're like outgrowing the space upstairs and like, we just got to get out of
Where are you
here.
looking to move?
I want to move to North Andover, you know, we'll start looking, you know, I think we might have been on a contract at that point, but either way, you know, so what do you
You need help? I can help.
what do you think we can sell it for?
So I was looking at comps in the area and trying to compare them to what you have, and I'm thinking 315, 325.
Okay, so 315, 325.
Yeah.
All right. Think we could do 330?
Yeah, I think that's possible.
What about 345? I would love to do 315.
I think at that point, with the comparables in your area, there's a lot of like 3-bedrooms that have recently sold.
So what I would say is this is a bungalow.
Okay.
So go back to the style. This is a bungalow, so it's just tough. It's hard sell for some people. Not a lot of people can accommodate a bungalow. Like you're running into this issue with your children. So we're going to be targeting someone who's either downsizing or first-time home buyer who's like single.
Okay.
So it's going to be tough. If I could list it for hire, I would, but the comps just don't support it because of the style of them. Okay, I trust you. All right, that's fine. All right. So, you know, what do you think? When should we put it on?
So I have to set up photography and everything. So if you're ready, then I can contact my photographer and have them come in
and do everything for me.
Quickly.
Perfect.
Get it on
So,
the market.
do you want to just show me what you want and what the listing agreement?
Sure, so we have the mandatory mass disclosure that I'll need you to sign. Just stating that what your rights are, and then there's also oh my goodness.
Exclusive right to sell.
Yeah, exclusive right to sell, that just says that Keller Williams is your broker, and then I'm the designated agent that's gonna be helping you through this process.
Okay. Well, my husband actually used to do real estate. So,
Okay.
all right. So
Do you
like,
have an
how
idea
long
what-
do you think? How long do you think we'll be under contract for? Like, how long do you think this will take?
So I'd like to plan 6 months, and that will help us kind of get towards springtime. because sometimes the
6
winter
months
time-
though, I really just like want to get out of here as soon as possible because my kids really like, it's gonna affect them and I want to make sure that they're like good to go. I want to get them in before school.
Okay, I understand that. We can certainly try to go a little bit less. What do
So
you?
in that instance, I would say, all right, no problem. You have to take the time. So if you know that there's certain things you have to do before we list, it's really whatever pace you want to move at is the pace I'll move at. If you want to get your kids in school sooner, that's okay. Things are flying off the market. However, this is a bungalow. The roof needs some work. Do you think you'd be up to doing the roof? No, I don't know. I want to see if I can sell it without it. All right, no problem. So we're gonna put it on for this amount that we've discussed. We'll say, would you be comfortable with strategic pricing? No, because if I'm strategically pricing it, I would like to put it on at $299. It's what I did across the street at my mom's house. I put it on for just under 300,000 and we got 390,000. I would like to do the same here. No, I'm not comfortable with that. Okay, no problem. We're gonna put it on for 315. Call me next week when you're ready for the photographer. This contract is gonna be for 6 months. Just because God forbid something happens, it sits, you never know what could happen. A pandemic. So
Did that happen, really?
this particular listing was affected by the pandemic and all of the protests that were going on at the time. Absolutely affected the sale. So, okay, great. I'm cool with signing the 6-month contract with you. Send it.
Does anyone have any questions about this circus? Anyone? Yeah. Go ahead, Brandon.
On the objection from 6 months to 3 months, I was actually thinking about this yesterday.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, okay, if they push me for 3 months, I'm thinking a good response would be, and again, it depends on the market. Say, well, typically in a normal market, 3 months is 90 days. In a normal market, it takes 30 to 45 days to close one, get an offer accepted. That gives us about 45 days to actually get an offer, and that's kind of tight. Is that a reasonable response? Or what would you say to that, Karen?
3 months, 3 months to me, it depends on the market fund. So what is the average days on market? That's something I'm gonna wanna know if I think I'm gonna get a challenge.
Okay.
Oh, 3 months. Well, the average days on market in your town are 25 days. So that's a month of our contract. And then we're gonna have to re-sign if it takes another, say there's a longer escrow period, say something pops up in your home inspection. And instead of a 10-day period, turns into a 20-day period, because we have to have contractors come through.
Right.
That's gonna be an issue. Oh, you're knob and tube wiring. You had knob and tube.
Yeah, I was gonna say that.
Oh, okay, so what you would say is, I noticed some knob and tube wiring in your basement. It's not illegal, but it could pose an issue to potential buyers for their home insurance. I already had that removed. We had blown in insulation. It was a requirement that we had it removed. That must be one knob that's left. Let's go look at it. You look at it, you can see it's disconnected. If it pops up at home inspection, you can certainly have an electrician come through and verify that it's disconnected or just disconnected. It's just pretty simple fix. If it was entirely still inactive, the house was all running on knob and tube, we're running into a problem. That might delay the listing, because I would recommend they have an electrician come in. Could be like $12,000 worth of work if they need a whole new panel and all their electrical. It's gonna cost about 12 grand. So that's the situation that, and the roof became a problem with that house too. We didn't get a lot of offers because it was a bungalow, really cute house, but the roof affected it really bad. And she was considering she's like, all right, I'm just gonna do the roof. And we got an offer, like in a clutch. But anyway, if I were to do that, that would be I would say, listen, 3 months, we can do it. But just know that if the
It's
deal is not done in
relative.
3 months, we're gonna just be doing another 6, so I like to. just
We
do
have
6
no
right from the
flexibility,
jump.
so-
Yeah, I'd like to just do 6 right from the jump if you don't mind. Sometimes people don't do it on the date range, and they just do it per property. So you can cross out the dates altogether and just say for that specific property. And that's something I would want to talk to like an attorney about on how you want to write that in.
Yeah,
But like for buyer agency contracts, it's the same thing. You're wanting to do the same kind of proposition.
because I mean, if you do it for the property, then the contract's indefinite,
Subject to that property.
subject to that property. So,
And then they have to ask for a release.
and if it takes like a year to sell it, it's not like I'm wasting my time when they're reasonable.
You can break up with them, just like they can break up.
Yeah,
with
but
you.
it's harder if you have, or is it?
I've never done a listing of agreement subject to property, but I honestly wouldn't know.
Okay.
Well,
Yeah, so just real quick, mandatory disclosure. So state of New Hampshire and Massachusetts require that the office document officer. This is not a contract. Basically, it states that right now you have a customer, and with that, it only has listed on the back. You don't need to sign it. You can just check the box, decline to sign, but it's really not a contract, right?
It's not a
Is that good enough for me to
yeah,
say?
you can say it's not a
Okay.
contract, it's just
Listing agreement. This is a legal document stating that you are hiring Keller Williams as your broker, and I will be the designated agent. The fee for this service is 4% of the sale price and is split between buyer agent and seller agent. The term of this contract is determined by you and is typically about 6 to 12 months. Was that just enough to just spit it out?
And
then
then
get
get
my
my
nerves
subject.
Because I'm gonna write it on my top.
No. Keep it on your computer, just bring your computer.
I just want to get through it and then they
The
can ask
more,
me
you're gonna
questions.
stumble. Stumbling is part of growing. You're gonna get in there and you're gonna be like, I've done it in front of sellers. It's like, this was not a role play. I never role played my listing agreement. I went to a listing appointment and that's where I role played my listing agreement. And I choked a few times. It's uncomfortable. You don't feel confident doing it. The only way you're gonna feel better is when you get stuck in an answer, the question you can't answer. Or if they're like, wait, that doesn't make sense what you said. And you're like, you're right, it does. So you're gonna learn from that. And those moments you will remember and that will improve your next listing appointment. That's why I asked you to find if you feel comfortable with doing a listing appointment in front of me. Say, hey, do you mind if I was just showing my listing appointment? I'm gonna do it. Give me your address. I'll do it. I'm giving you a free market analysis on your home. Let me practice. And then I want feedback. So give you feedback and then you can say, all right, let me know if you think anyone else will benefit from this. And then you're growing your network while you're also practicing. Because it's awkward, it's uncomfortable, you're not gonna know all the answers. That's okay. Highlight that you have a coach. Say, I'm just gonna let you know, I have a coach, she's been in real estate for, 8-10 years. I have an ALC at my office. They've been, have, decades of experience. Whatever I don't know, they will know. So just know you're in good hands. Rely on your group. Rely on your unit. You're on a team, rely on a team. Don't say I've done it. Say he's been in business for 4 years. We sell $100 million. We. Same if you're in a coaching program and you're not on a team, same thing. You like, I used to do that with my dad. I would do the same thing. I would say, listen, we're the Fulford Group. We've been in real estate for about 25 years. Combined experience, I would rely on. And when I did that, I don't recommend you join the team right away from the jump, but if you wanted to, you got an opportunity to, we would discuss that. But I would rely on the team. You can do the same thing here. Rely on the coaching program, rely on the leadership council, you can rely on all people. So, thank you. And if you're uncomfortable about the limited level of experience you have, just say, my office has been in Andover for X number of years. My office. Okay, so you're gonna be good. That's gonna kill them again. This listing. Get it. Thank you for coming down, Frank. I would stick around, but I have a closing. Bye, guys. I'm really sorry this wasn't more interactive, Zoomy friendly.